Oh. Oh, that's okay. Can you yard on your side? No. Okay, then I logged into a different. Okay. Yep. Oh, looks like we're live. Okay. S-
I'd say we go ahead.
Cool. All right. In 1, 2, 3. Can you hear us? Oh, that's all right. We'll talk
All
to
right.
ourselves. Main Street Moto here in Las Vegas. I'm Tara and
I'm Steve.
Steve. And this is Ask a Tech Live, where we answer your most pressing technical motorcycle. So we'll just let folks join in here. Steve, you want to talk about what's cool going on?
Tuning, doing a lot of tuning this week.
Been busy in the
So,
dyno, that's for
Busy
sure.
in the dyno.
Yeah.
So camshafts, we got a couple engine builds going.
What about that? What is that? A Pro Charger, that supercharged bike that you got that came in?
Yeah, we're gonna work on that. This would be my first Impact Wiring Solution supercharger bike, so wish me luck. That should all go pretty good.
That'll be fun.
So that one, I got that. I still got to build a few things on that before I even put it in the bike, but that should go all right. The bike's all built out, so hopefully we don't have any issues with any of that.
Okay.
But I got a bunch of others. Okay, I got
Got that Ray's working on.
yeah, like last week before. Just gonna mock a few things up, trying to get brakes set up, but
Yeah.
same time as that build's getting done.
Yeah.
So-
Something's running in the back there. The rumble of the shop.
See if that
Yeah.
it's got noise in the motor, so we're trying to locate that. Part sometimes it's hard.
Steve always says you can't see through metal, right?
No. You wish you could. All right, well,
Cool.
let's nail out some questions. I know you have some questions ready.
We do, but my end.
All right, so first question is why is everyone getting crash bars and what does it really protect?
Crash bars. Well, it's a new fad. Everybody wants to like have that cool looking bagger, Dyna or Sportster, pretty much all of them. Softails, I've seen them on that. Crash bars are it's almost so they're
In
gonna
what way?
crash real hard with a crash bar, it rips the frame apart. Number one, totals your bike. Real hard with a crash bar, it rips the frame out every single time.
Okay.
If it just falls over,
Right.
great. The floorboards, handlebars, controls, stuff like that. In a nap, it does more damage than it saves. So multiple bikes here just because bolts out of the frame, and you're not fixing that without putting a new frame in it. So for it to very, very low speed or that protects a whole bunch.
Oh, and here another example, Tosh, when he got rear-ended,
Mhm.
remember, and he had his crash bar. He had the can't remember if it was the Centauri crash
Yeah,
bars on.
yeah, Centaur's
But
on it,
that helped to
Yeah,
protect his bike pretty good.
yeah. Well, that was another thing. He was sitting still when that happened.
Sucks when you're sitting still and you
You
get
get
hit on a
rear-ended from the back. The whole back of the bike took the damage.
Yeah.
Crash bars saved it.
Yeah.
But it was low speed protection. It's awesome. High speed crashes, it will.
And so, and I think crash bars they come from like sport bike world, right? Because it's kind of a newer thing
No,
with
I mean
Harleys.
Harley's had them for years. Engine guards.
The engine guards, yeah.
They call them, and they
You
never
don't
call
want it
them.
to scratch up that.
They never
chrome.
called them crash bars ever. Harley's always called them engine guards. And I don't know what it's guarding from the engine. The engine is usually the last thing to hit the freaking ground.
Uh,
But
yeah.
yeah, man, Panheads had them. Because sport bikes, they're the easiest things. It takes out, $2,000-3,000 worth of
Yeah.
fairings.
All the
So you
fairings
put some
and plastics.
put some
get
crash
destroyed.
protection on there, save the paint.
Yeah. So we just installed the OG Moto setup and did a little reel on that for our buddy Kevin, and that turned out really good. I think it's neat, some of the setups that now that companies are coming out with, instead of just being like the single powder coated black or whatever, you can get the for putting the
Little
end. And so in different colors, options and upgrades to upgrade the so to protect your paint in certain scenarios.
speed stuff, yeah.
Cool. Well, hello there, Carl Fuller.
Who else is in there?
And we've got and nuts, guys. The comments here. This is actually on Facebook. I'm only able to see on Facebook, Kristen, but you can see on all the other channels. So let me know if we've got anyone in or any questions or comments.
Hun Midas coming in soon. These folks.
Cool.
Gonna come by the shop.
Right
Nice,
on.
nice.
We'll look forward to seeing you.
And the other question is, how do I go about selecting a cam or cams for some people for my motorcycle?
Cam selection.
That comes down.
You just go
to-
big. Just go with the biggest cam, right?
That's what everybody does.
Just go big.
The problem with that is sometimes you'll bite off more than you can chew.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or the motor can chew. Let's put it that way. I select cams. Are you a cruiser? Are you a hot rod guy? You a drag race guy? That's all different camshafts that you're going to pick and how much power output we're going to deliver to the bike and timing of that, when that power is coming in.
Right.
It's going to come in real early or it's going to come in real late. So the bigger the cam you go, the later that cam is. So you got to be real high in the RPM, usable benefits of that cam.
Right. So like there's some
Sometimes.
cams that are good at like, right
Right out.
and then other cams that are better for like highway stuff, right?
Yeah.
Highway
yeah,
miles.
Exactly,
So
exactly. So when it goes to choosing a cam, there's usually 100 questions I'm going to ask. 90% of your riding time, stuff like that. Or if I know you personally, I pretty much know, how you ride, what you're doing. So then I can pick a good cam for you. A cam that you're going to be happy with. You don't want too much camshaft and then it's miserable at low RPM.
Right.
And it's insanely hard to tune at low RPM when guys want to get that little hesitation or glitch out of that bike and you're about 1,000 RPM before the cam's even turning on. So for me, that makes it difficult to tune at that point, to tune that up. So it's going to come down to it, interviews and stuff like that. There's a billion cams out there. And everybody just chooses the biggest cam. Let's just put the biggest cam in there we can, and then you're really unhappy with it
Yeah.
when you get it done. So a lot of times I'll put a smaller cam in and make more power, usable power, and then that customer's really happy.
Yeah, so feel free to hit us up if you have any specific questions on cam setup for your bike, and we can talk you through that. I think we just recently did a reel, and or actually it was our last Ask a Tech Live that we did, and we talked about an SNS cam chest kit, and kind of went through the different parts that are included in the SNS kit, doing the cam upgrade, slapping a cam on and tuning and going. So
Well, that's what everybody thinks. There's a lot more to go. You're going to put valve springs in. You're going to want to change injectors. You're going to want to do, cam plates, oil pumps, all that billet stuff. And that's good insurance policies to have when you're putting that motor together. Because if you're taking a used motor and just throwing some wild camshaft in there, it's going to beat the shit out of that motor. So
yeah, so if you're gonna invest the money, do it right. Do it right.
yeah.
So do you, Tom? Oh, I'm sorry, Tim Krausen. 10mm socket is
Full every single time. Pull the battery out, you'll find about 4 or 5 of them in there.
Carl says check your pocket. That's where I have mine. Yeah. We find when I'm doing laundry, I often find sockets in the pocket. So, but what's funny? You just recently actually went back to your tool. There was a socket that you were looking for that wasn't in its spot, but the 10mm was there. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't happen very often, but oh man. Yeah.
What was your guys' first motorcycle?
Ooh.
What was your first bike, Steve?
Mine. It was a little dirt bike, Kawasaki. It was at 80, a little KX or KDX. I can't remember. I think KDX had a taillight. I think it was a KDX 80. I don't remember what year. It's one of the early ones. Little 2-stroke bike. Thing ripped.
Oh, 2-stroker, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
What was your?
I learned. I had 3-wheeler, and so the Honda tire 3-wheelers.
The big reds.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we used to have so much fun riding 3-wheelers on the farm all year round. And then
I still have my 3-wheeler.
Oh, I still have my 3-wheelers back at mom and dad's place. They're still. I think I've got almost every bike and toy ever owned. The benefit of having a big old 200-year-old pole barn on a farm is that you have
Storage.
There's some cool stuff. There's my the Speedway bike, and my dad's got an old Harley Hummer back there that he's gonna bring out here one of these days. So
what was your
but
first
then my
bike?
first What was your first bike? My first motorcycle, the street bike it was a 1981 Yamaha 250 Exciter that my parents got me for my 16th birthday. And I was I wanted a Ninja. I wanted a 250 Ninja.
I could see you being a little brat about that.
I really was. Dad's hosing it off, and I walk up, I'm like, oh, Dad, what's this? And he's like, this is your new motorcycle, punk. And I looked at him, and I was like,
that sucks.
Really? It's all like rusted. But my God, I rode the crap out of that bike between Rochester and Batavia and on the. Oh my gosh,
Don't tell me you went on the freeway.
I did, dude.
Thing barely did.
I went
50.
on the throughway. I know. But it was where I had 2 different jobs, and it was easier to jump on the freeway and go and fast. Yeah, and thing that little bike had, everything that that little bike had, and that's what I rode for. At least, but my dad felt he was like that was he wanted to make sure I was safe. He was convinced I would kill myself on a Ninja, and he probably was right. So, yeah. So good stuff. Tell us, what was your first bike, folks? What was your favorite bike? We love motorcycle
What was your
histories and
favorite bike?
stories.
Good question. What was your
Oh,
favorite bike?
oh my gosh, my favorite bike. Well, my Buell. I got that my Buell XB9 that holds a special place in
Still
my
have that?
heart. I still have, but I think my FXR. Actually, no, wait. I do hands down CRF 150 Supermoto
Oh, yeah, that was
build that we did. Oh my, so much fun. So much. So we've got to rebuild that. We ended up Lee Parks, my buddy Lee Parks convinced me to sell that to him for
Oh, little does he know I have one more of
we've
them
got
bikes.
we got another one that we have to build out. But oh gosh, that bike was so much fun. And then the YSR, I love my little mini moto YSR. I did some mini moto racing on that before I had babies, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. That's another one we got to get back up and running. Oh, so let's see here. Carl had a Honda 100. Yeah, three-wheeler was my first bike. Yes, yes, Carl. How much fun! Is Carl? Is Carl from New York?
Who car? Who?
Carl Fuller? Are you from New York, Carl?
Not sure.
I feel like that's all. Like if you grew up in New York back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Well, yeah, 90s. I guess they were they were outlawed, but you could still ride.
They were
them.
never outlawed.
No, they just stopped.
Stop.
Fun fact.
They stopped importing.
Fun fact.
There was never a law that says the three-wheeler cannot go. Or cannot be built. No, not a law.
Carl also asked, you're on fuel pumps. What do I replace it with now that they don't make them?
Look at Quantum Fuel Systems. They make all kinds of goodness for that. Depending on the year, they changed that. V-Rod changed it a few times over the years, but look at Quantum Fuel. They got a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah.
I think all them pumps are Walboro pumps, so they're good quality pumps.
Yeah.
I have them fail every once in a while, but it's pretty rare. I go through hundreds of pumps before I find one that's bad. But
When the OEM pump doesn't exist or go to, and
they're knocking off. They're actually adding a lot
have added a lot more.
because everybody's
recently.
discontinuing them, and then everybody's bike that's been sitting for a couple of years, the fuel pumps are just junk at that point.
Yeah. Question from Mike Baldwin.
Mike
A little while
Baldwin.
back about suspension and whether you should do front or rear first.
Quit being fucking cheap, Mike.
Oh,
Go with the rear suspension first, though. It's the best bang for the buck that you're gonna get. Go with and buy good stuff. Don't buy cheap.
don't buy Chinese
No, buy-
suspension part.
Softail, I think. Go with like an Olin shock.
And then for the front, it makes sense like when you have to do when your forks start leaking or when a great time to go and drop in cartridges or some gold valves from Racetech are a great bang for the
Yeah,
buck.
yeah.
Right?
They work pretty good. I put them in some bikes depending on what we're doing.
I think all my bikes have gold valves,
Yeah.
and I like
Not all of them. You got Olin's on your Buell. I think you got Olin's rear shock on your
in the
Buell.
rear, but in the
Yeah.
front.
Gold valves. Yeah, I think I put gold valves
Yeah,
in it.
and that night and day. Oh my gosh! And the way so for those of you that like have only ridden on stock suspension, which is a majority of riders out there, right? Because it's not the first thing that people are changing. mostly because it's not not something that like looks cool, right? Like everyone wants to change out their exhaust or do their do some motor upgrades and stuff. And suspension is usually like the last thing that that folks are upgrading. Um, and however, in my opinion, it should be one of the first things that you upgrade on most bikes. Some bikes come with decent suspension, but most bikes come with because shitty suspension, or just acceptable rather, because the manufacturers aren't necessarily, people aren't buying bikes based on their suspension,
Right.
um, right? Is that a lot of manufacturers kind of um but so here's so it just a like real life like living example of like what good suspension will do for you. So imagine like a ride, your daily ride or somewhere that you ride all the time, and there's it's like really it's rough, right? And like and every time you like it's coming up this like rough spot, and every like you come up to it and you're like, oh man, I know this is gonna like bounce me off my bike. For me, I'm always bouncing off, right? um and then so you get good suspension, and I noticed like with my Buell, like this was like just amazing. But you would that same area, that same spot that's where you're like like you getting all nervous that it's coming up, and with good suspension it's like you almost just it's like floating and gliding across like crappy terrain. So
Take care of all that.
yeah, especially if you're touring, if you're doing passenger, um good investment to make. And so,
So I would think the answer to that question, Mike Baldwin, is put your rear shocks on first. Rear shock, you got a single shock on that. I think put that on first and then go to the front. Be happier, man. You get most bang for the buck out of that.
yeah. And then as far as Harley suspension, Olin's,
Legends works good.
Legends, and Progressive,
There's 20 of them out
all
there
make
now.
some good options.
Yeah, GP suspension's good.
Hmm. Yep.
Pump Pat on Instagram asked, "Is it really necessary to lube a clutch cable, and if so, how often?"
Yes, every time.
Every time.
Every time you're in for your big service, maybe. Yeah, do it. Keep that clutch cable working smooth because it gets a bunch of moisture in there and it gets a bunch of dirt in there because it's sitting up in the wind on your handlebars. So it's collecting all that. Any rainstorm you go through, it is running water down that cable. So yeah, lube that up. Probably every other oil change. It's pretty easy to do. Make the cable
That's a good
last
one.
longer.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's no fun having a clutch cable go out.
No, what they progressively get just harder and harder to pull that clutch over time, so you don't necessarily feel bike or grab a clutch lever with a brand new cable. Everything's lubricated, everything's working good. It's real easy. That's all wore out in there. You're twice as hard to pull that.
Yeah.
Do that
That's a good
every
one.
other oil change, so 10,000 miles.
Cool. All right there, folks.
What do you think about the suspension on the new Breakout?
New Breakout. It's still got the same suspension as all the rest of them. It's got fat tire on it. It's in carbon, so it's got carbon parts on it. So I think the shocks though are all the same. So I think that's definitely worth upgrading.
And then the lead acid versus lithium ion.
Lead acid
Yeah.
versus lithium ion. Let me tell you
Oh.
a story that I heard the other day. I think Harley pulled all their lithium batteries.
Yeah.
I think they pulled them. I don't even think you could buy them anymore. They were having such issues with the charging system that they were going through because that rectifier regulator is built for a lead acid battery, so it's trying to charge a lead acid battery. Well, a lithium battery charges different. It's pulsed. It's not a consistent voltage that's going to that battery and amperage. So what it can do is, number one, it can hurt the battery. Number two, it can hurt everything else in the electrical system because the lithium's freaking out. It's not sure how much to, you know, hold or how much to deliver at that point. So I run lead. I don't run lithium in any of my bikes. None of them. I run batteries. Now they do make built for lithium ion batteries and stuff like that that have a different charge rate, to have a different, it'll shut the charging system off when it's full, you know, and but your stock rectifier regulator is not capable of doing that. So it can cause issues with electrical systems, batteries, charging systems. And lithium's a pain in the ass anyway, because if it gets freezing cold, it kills the battery. If it gets too hot, it shuts the battery
It
off.
blows
So
up.
you're just nonstop chasing your tail because you save 3 pounds.
Yeah, so I think the one application that we had a question on was Paul, and he was actually had replaced he has a boat, like a trolling boat that he goes fishing
A
in.
little trolling motor,
Yeah,
battery operated.
yeah, and so he had replaced his lead acid with lithium, and so for the weight savings.
Mhm.
And I think it was two questions that he had. One was about whether a lithium battery, whether it needs to stay on a trickle charger or not, because I think the battery manufacturer had told, like, on their site said that it did was
No,
one.
because they don't lose their voltage sitting like a lead acid battery would. Circuit on, shut it off. So it's not the same. It's not the same. What scares me with lithium boat though, battery in the water, see what happens. I'm just saying.
Well, they're sealed,
Sure.
and right?
Till they're
If it starts on,
can't
you
put
can't
it
put
out
it
with
out,
water.
right? So that's
No. No. I mean, lithium is dangerous as it is. So it's gonna be better or not. What happens when you get out in the middle of the lake with your little trolling motor right there, and then the battery just shuts off because it's out of voltage?
well, and I think
You
that
don't feel the boat slowing down. It just goes fast, 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 off. Did you bring your oars, Paul?
row, row, row your boat. Well, no, and I think that was the other part of the question was that he had was regarding the amperage, like how much time
Getting down
is
to the
in the
scientifics of
amperage. I
what are the
think,
specs of the battery. There's too many questions. There's too many
yeah,
variables there to actually answer that question.
yeah. Well, and so you would need a more amp hours to last longer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
So
cool.
yeah.
All right. Any other questions? No? Okay.
We're gonna wrap this
Well,
up then.
we are really appreciate and follow. Have any questions and or suggestions on this Ask a Tech series? Because we're here. This is we're doing this for you guys. So if you have any questions, let us know, and we will get to them next time. Otherwise, happy Easter and happy spring, everyone. Oh, I'm going to tell everyone since spring weather's changing, everybody's getting out on their motorcycles. Make sure you check your tires.
Check your air pressure.
Check your air pressure in your
They
tires.
will be low from last season.
This time of year, it does affect your air pressure in your tires, and so that's a simple thing because you don't want to go down due to low air in your tires. We've seen it. So
Thank you, everybody.
yeah, we got to go get the guys lunch. We'll see you next time.